What's going on, guys? Matt with Final Rise here. Wanted to make a short and sweet video on how to properly clean and care for your Final Rise vest. Now, the fabrics that we use on all of our vests are a Cordura fabric. So it is a woven nylon, and over time, things are going to get dirty. Obviously, you guys are in the field, you're putting bloody birds or turkeys or rabbits or squirrels. I've seen everything from swans to sandhill cranes put in the back of our vest. So lots of different things are making their way into the back of your vest, and making sure that you are taking care of it over time is going to produce additional longevity and value in that product. So what we're going to do first and foremost is we're going to clean the vest out. Now, this vest right here has about 3 full seasons on it. It hasn't been cleaned before. I've kind of just kept up on stuff for the most part. What I mean by that is I'm just emptying it at the end of the season, or at the end of every hunt, excuse me. Don't leave stuff in here for extended periods of time, because the blood and different things like that will accumulate and can impact the quality of the fabric. I've seen folks, unfortunately, leave their vest in the garage with blood and different things like that, and there's mice, there's rats, there's all sorts of stuff out there. And every once in a blue moon, we'll get somebody that's kind of neglected to care for their vest, and they send in a picture and a rat has eaten out the bottom half of it because it was covered apparently in delicious pheasant blood or some type of bird blood. So take care of your stuff, it'll take care of you. So this is super simple, and this isn't rocket science at any capacity, but it's good information to share. Because we're using a Cordura fabric, you want to make sure that you are not agitating and using any type of harmful or destructive detergents. All I use for cleaning these, the same stuff I use to clean my game bags that I hunt deer and elk and everything with, is borax. Very simple, low cost. You can go to really any of your local stores and probably pick this up. And I mean, this is 4 pounds of this stuff, and I actually just finished a box before this that lasted me probably 5 or 6 years. So for $5 a year, cheap maintenance on your stuff here. So the recommended, I guess, mixture or dilution of it is 1/2 cup per gallon of water. Now you can't do too much at the end of the day, so don't worry if that ratio isn't exactly perfect. I would imagine most people have measuring cups, but even if you eyeball it, you're going to be okay. So I do prefer using cold water as well. It's just like cold washing your laundry. You don't want things to shrink, or you don't want to harm it. The warm water causes the fabric to essentially swell, which is good in some forms, but not necessary for what we're doing here, because we're not going to put this in the washing machine per se. So we've got just a 5-gallon bucket of water here. And all we're going to do is I'm going to put this on the ground here so you guys can actually watch, and we're just going to fill it up with some of the borax. And then we're going to take the vest itself. I've gone through and I've cleaned everything out of it. Feathers, shells, you name it. I mean, I have gone through and cleaned it out the very, very, very best that I can, to make sure that if anything, we're just cleaning the fabric itself. So I'll throw this on the ground real quick and we'll get her submerged. All right, so got the bucket on the ground here. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to show you up here. 5-gallon bucket, half cup per gallon. There's probably only about 3 in here. Like I said, you can't necessarily put too much borax in. It's a very, very mild detergent. But if you do want to have a little bit stronger solution, you're okay to put a little extra in there. So I will get this all done in. This is a full box, so it is, like I said, I'm not even going to use a measuring cup. I just do it till the water's pretty darn murky here. I'm sure there's somebody out there cringing that I'm not being exact, but I'm a little redneck, so it's okay. All right, so we'll just get this all mixed in there. Like I said, not rocket science by any means, and I'm just using my hand, but just mixing it up. You'll fill it on the bottom like sand, basically. All right, so got this all mixed up. You want to make sure your vest is obviously empty. Take out all the feathers, any dirt. Try to clean it off the very, very best that you can so that the borax can actually be getting into the fibers of the fabric itself. So if we look on the bottom of the vest, this is obviously where the majority of blood, dirt, everything like that is going to be, because you're setting on the ground and the birds are being put on the inside. Now you can, if you would like to, you can open the G-hooks on the top of your bag, or if you have a previous model and you haven't upgraded to the G-hooks, you can also just loop everything in. So as you can see, a little bit of everything in there from a couple of years of good hunting. So you can open that up if you need to. Obviously water is going to get in there. If you want to, you can disassemble the vest as well. I'm not going to. It's really not going to make a difference because everything's going to get where it needs to be. So one thing I want to point out, if you have any particular areas of the vest that you want to scrub additionally, you know, first we're going to just put it in here and we're going to soak it. I usually leave it overnight. For the video's sake, we're probably not going to do that, but usually I will just soak it overnight. I'll get it out, and if there were any spots that I wanted to make sure were specifically clean, like if I look down here and there's a, you know, a patch of blood or whatnot, you can just get the fabric and just rub it against itself and just kind of create friction. And the nice thing about Cordura is stuff kind of just dries up and flakes out, but don't take, you know, some type of scrub brush or different things like that. I mean, you probably could, but just using the fabric against itself is a perfect way to get off any of those stubborn stains that might be on there. So just get this bad boy in there. Now, if you're having problems with it staying submerged and you want to just put it underneath there, or make sure that it's, you know, fully submerged underneath, you can get a rock or something heavy, you know, a dumbbell or something like that, maybe from your home gym. Throw that on top of it and just leave it fully submerged. So I usually just go through, you know, I'll agitate it with the vest itself, get things mixed up, making sure that the borax is getting around it. And I'm just gonna set that in there. Like I said, you can soak it overnight, but I will, we're just starting to get feathers. I'll just set this in a corner of my garage somewhere, leave it overnight, and come out in the morning. All we're gonna do really at that point is take it out and hang it somewhere. I usually put it, you know, you can hang it in your garage. You're gonna wanna get as much water as you can out of it. If it's a nice, you know, breezy day, it's spring, so usually we're getting a little bit of wind. I can go hang it in a tree in my yard and just let it dry over time. And make sure that it's 100% dry before you put it away. You don't want to put away a wet vest in a plastic tote or something like that, if that's how you organize your gear. If you're putting this away for the summer and you're not getting it out till the fall, make sure that it is 100% dry before you put it away, because mold and all those different things are going to be pretty impactful in a negative way on the product itself. So we'll go put this in the corner, and then we'll essentially fast forward and kind of just hang it up and show you what we do to get it ready to dry. Alrighty, so it's only been a handful of minutes. I just brought the bucket here outside, went through, agitated the vest itself, just basically mixed it up and down a whole bunch inside of the borax and the water solution. And the water's already very, very brown. If you're worried about if it's super dirty and you want to do multiple applications, you can do that. A lot of times I do that with my game bags. I'll soak them, clean them out, swap water, put fresh borax in, and go through that process to make sure that they're very, very clean. In this particular application, and for brevity's sake, we're going to just do it a single time. But plenty of dirt has come out of the vest itself, and we'll leave it up to you how clean you want it to get, or if just a single washing is enough for you. So all we want to do, take the vest out. Obviously it is going to be quite moist here. This is one of the reasons we have grommets in the bottom of our vests. Cordura itself, because it's a lined fabric, does a very good job of being water resistant as it is. It's not waterproof, but man, it does a really good job of, you know, shedding water, beating up water, and keeping you dry. I mean, there's even parts of this fabric that are still kind of dry and the vest's been fully submerged. So for the most part, it's pretty clean. I think I probably did go a little bit heavy on the borax itself. As you can see, it's kind of just covering this. So what I would do in this case is I'm just going to wash it off. I can go over here to the faucet. I'm just going to rinse it off super quick, get everything off of it, and then all we're going to do is just hang it up outside. We've got some wind going on. It might rain, so maybe I'll get an additional washing. I'll just leave it out here. I'm not super worried about it. It's a tough product. So we'll do that real quick and hang it up. And honestly, after that, once we've done these 2 steps, it's good to go. Like I said, make sure that it is 100% clean. Get all the borax off, get all of whatever else you want to get off there, and then make sure it's 100% dry before you store it coming up on next hunting season there. So we'll keep that short. It's probably been longer than it needed to be in the first place. If you guys have any questions on how to clean or care for your Final Rise vest, please feel free to hit us up, support@finalrise.com. There's a phone number on the website. We'll answer if you call. Thank you.